Hey you guys, back with some more from the Saturn View project. Still working on the wheels, however this lovely weather we're having here is jacking up my plans. You know, is it gonna rain? I don't know. It thinks about it, it drizzles, and then it stops, and then it starts, so I don't know how much painting and priming I'm gonna be doing this weekend. I don't know how much of this is from that hurricane barrel, or barrel, however you say that. It's kind of drizzling through. But this is the guy I'm working on now. This is wheel number 2. I already went through and cleaned it. I tell you, that was the worst part of this, is trying to get everything clean, including down in these pockets, the back side of the spokes. That was, yeah, that was something else. That required a red Scotch-Brite, sanding, a metal scrub brush over there. That's what's left. And then my my metal brush there. Okay. This wheel kind of has a gambit of everything. There's some of our curb rash there. We've got this fun little chunk where the metal was hit, and this is actually raised. These nice gouges. I'm still deciding what I'm going to do about them. I have some of that Bondo liquid metal. I may attempt to use it, but I don't know what's going to happen with this weather, as you saw. And then we've got some lug nut hole deformation where it's been hit probably by a impact. See? Somebody's talking. See how much of this we could get through. You know, just little stuff, but at least it'll give me the ability to kind of walk through the process I've been using with these, because I've got a varying degree of damage. So I can kind of show y'all what I'm doing. And usually the best bet is to start with the mildest sanding or grinding that you can do for an area. As having already worked with the other wheels, I know that the little Dremel flap wheel that's 120 is not going to take that out. Okay, yeah, I know it looks rough. It's just only needing to sand that little teeny bit. I figured, why put a new one on here? But this is what I'm using. See, they have this Velcro on the back. It's Dura Gold. It works quite well. I've been pretty impressed with them holding up. This one's done 3 wheels now. Or this will be the 3rd one, I should say. Yeah, I know it looks a little rough, but we'll see how it does. Again, I'm trying to get my money's worth out of it, and for this teeny tiny little patch here, there is no sense going hog wild, wasting a new one just for that little bit. So, but it works pretty well, the 60 at reforming the metal. So I'll give that a go. All we're wanting to do is just smooth out all the rash marks. Still have a little bit there. There, see, now I just have that little bit of sanding scoring. And what I will do from here is step up to a lighter grit, which is actually going to be the coarse pad of Scotch-Brite. I want to say it's more around maybe 120. I don't know. Trying to get the information on exactly what grade these things are can be a little cumbersome. There's other areas around the wheel that I'll get to, but I just wanted to kind of do a highlight for you guys so you can see what I've done to prep these wheels. And this is a little less abrasive, so it's actually going to take some of those sanding marks out. And what I'm actually doing, you try not to gouge into the rubber here. You can actually tape that if you wanted. but we're trying to make sure that as we sand this area, this flat down, we don't want to make a sharp edge on the that is going to hit into the tire. So, you know, when the tire flexes under load. So you'll actually see me, I'm coming in this way just a little bit to help with the contour. All right. Much better. And this, like I said, this is these little Scotch-Brite pads. These are the 3-inch versions. And they just screw on instead of using Velcro. They have that little attachment. So now I'll step to the medium grit, the red. Here comes the rain. That's all I'm going to do with this red one. If you were polishing a wheel, you'd be stepping to finer and finer grits as you go. I always start with these pads though. They seem to do a really good job feathering out a lot of these repairs. Now this one is brand new. I don't know quite how aggressive he's going to be, and we're getting rain a little bit on the camera, so I'm going to hurry up and then reposition y'all. Again, feathering that edge. And granted, I'll still sand over it with the 320, but this is the flap wheel that I use on the Dremel. Normally there's a little sticker on there that says 120. This guy is near the end of his life, so it's obviously fallen off. But, try not to tip you over, I will show y'all how well this little guy works for recontouring little repairs like spun. See how that makes just quick work of that? Now I will go back over this area with the Scotch-Brite pads so that it spreads the injury out, because if I just leave it like this, then you're still going to see a dip when I go to prime it. So you want to spread it out across a greater surface so that it doesn't bring your eye to it with it being unlevel in that one spot. And I'm not going to do it with this guy because it's so aggressive. A few other spots I'm getting hit. And that one's a pretty big nick. If you could feel it with your finger like I can, it's actually lifted. You catch it with your nail. So we're actually taking that lifted part out as we do this. And that is not super severe, so I'm going to do those with the Scotch-Brite pads. I'm going to start us out with the fine teal and see how well that does, because this is not very deep. I may have to move up to the medium. Trying not to get in the rain and not block y'all. deceptive how deep it is. But it does not go down into the metal. Again, I'm trying to, this is the finest grit, this green, this teal color in the Scotch-loc system. So I'm trying to do as much with it as possible. The more aggressive, the more you got to sand out later. Or fill with filler primer. And these are nice because they spread the working area out more than just that small little flap wheel making a divot. It's still going to have a divot that I'll have to work up with the filler primer, but it's not going to be nearly as bad. Easy, buddy. Gotta find the sweet spot so it doesn't jump around. Now, you can see in here where there's little chips along the rim of the wheel. Those are not deeply gouged. It's just a matter of the finish. So all I'm going to do is just remove the finish to make it smooth. Well, I did not anticipate getting a bath. That was a little impromptu whip up from the wind. Sufficiently woke me up, I tell you what. And don't worry about that little bit. Again, all that stuff will be taken care of with the filler primer. But you can see how all that's getting feathered out real nice. That gives you guys an idea of how we're smoothing all that out. And then when I go over that with the filler primer, it'll fill in all those light imperfections, but you still want to prepare the surface as much as possible. This humidity is not helping. A lot of this is a judgment call. You know, you have to feel it, and again, you'll have to level it when you go back to sand it. Okay, right here you can see there's a pretty good chunk out of the finish, and then we've got some issues here. So for that, the Dremel works quite well with a little Flapwheel. There we go. I don't know if y'all are catching that lightning out there. Definitely won't be doing any priming tonight. So this is an awkward angle to do this with you guys. I'm trying not to lean in and over the camera. And this will be another area that I'm going to have to deal with on all of them. But again, just trying to give you guys a overview. And this big nasty one over here. Just trying to clean it up mostly. Now we've got one other one right there, sticking up pretty severely. I'm trying to go up and down with it, so if I come in this way, I may make it deeper. So if I'm going this way, I should be bridging either side of the gap, the chasm. At least that gives you an overview of what I've been doing. So if you want to do something like this, you can. Oh yeah, that's almost smooth now. Okay, that's good. I can't pick that up with my finger anymore. I'm probably going to work this whole area down to metal just in case I lose y'all. Then that'll be that much less that I have to fill. But since there's actually a contour here and here, I can work this area flat. It'll be less filler I have to use, and it'll visually blend in because of that natural angle on the part. I need to step up to a more coarse one. I was working that one spot down with a new 60 pad. I hope I don't regret doing that, but I just really don't want to have to fill all that much. I'm going to work on that one a little bit more too. Well, that was exciting. I think I felt a little bit of lightning. I was leaning up against the garage door and my butt got that kind of electrocution sort of tingly feel. So maybe I won't lean against the garage door while I'm doing this. It is raging out there. Don't worry, I have etching primer to go on the bare metal, so we'll be good. I'm trying to wrap this up. Through the power of video editing, that's all I'm left with is that little pinhole. Again, I tried to do the whole spoke evenly. This 60. You see, he's pulling out a lot of those deeper sanding marks from the 60. And that would be a power failure. Well, I guess that's a good place to say adios to you guys. I will do the rest via the half-open garage door. I guess it's a good thing I left it partially open, or I'd be stuck right now in the dark trying to figure out how to pull the safety mechanism on a double high garage door opener. At least I wanted to share with y'all kind of the process. I'm going to go back over this with the red, which is a finer grit than this coarse brown, and then I'll go back over it with the blue, the teal, and I'll go back over all the others, and then the final sanding before priming is going to be the 320 grit sandpaper. That's what the etching primer calls for. Alright, but I just wanted to show y'all part of the process on a wheel that kind of was a mixed gambit of everything. Alright y'all, take care.